With me, Kevin.
See, what I said came true. We singled out the bad man from Texas, the man that blows through the West Texas plain like a tumbleweed, eating everything in its path. But the man from the desert, the man who breathes and walks on fire, the Sheik, the only Sheik in professional wrestling today, the man that was walked through the desert for 20 days and 20 nights and only feasted on the carcasses of dead animals that laid Bruiser Brody out just like the dead camel carcass that falls over when there's no water left in the hump. You see, Bruiser Brody, you came to your oasis in the desert and it was dry like fire. I predicted that you'd get burned by the Mystic One himself, and you did. Now, Lars Anderson, the war was originally started a year ago when you went sent to the hospital with the maniac and myself. But now, as history again has repeated itself, you were carried out of the ring by Kamala Mala's gigantic headbutt. And Superfly Tui, you were a different story. See, I gave you a chance to better yourself. I gave you the chance to step out of the wop-wops, to step out of being a Samoan. I gave you a chance. As you can see right now, we're cutting the big man up like a barbecue. Looks like a luau. We got him now. As the spike is driven to his head, the spike that was given to me by Habuddin himself. You see, Lars Anderson, a member of Mrs. Maivia's family. As you can see, she's walking around ringside, hoping and chanting that darkness will not prevail. But the man of the desert has climbed. The man of the desert has climbed the cage that was once called impossible to climb. But that wasn't his plan. His plan was to get the big man from Texas, Bruiser Brody. And the plan was laid out better than Hitler taking Poland. You see, once the volcano erupted and ran down the side of the mountain, it all came to an end for Bruiser Brody. As you see right now, the Mystic One is in a trance, called on by Habuddin himself to destroy Bruiser Brody, and he did.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have this for just a moment here. If I may have this just a moment, I know that this is your interview, Mr. Sullivan, but we have some other matters to discuss right now, and it happens to be one Mr. Bruiser Brody. The doctor is in the back, and Bruiser Brody is severely burned on his face. You know, you do think it's funny, don't you?
You know something? Let me tell you something. That was not an accident that happened to Bruiser Brody. And I don't make idle threats. But accidents can happen to anybody outside arena, Mr. Sonny, if you get what I mean. Sun can be turned into darkness real quick, like 6 feet down and buried under, so you better watch your tongue or it will be cut out.
All I can say, Maniac Mark Lewin and Kevin Sullivan, we have the doctors in...
Again and taking control over the island. The sun has blotted out, Sonny. You see, it is nighttime. The night place where we live and dwell. Darkness will come. Now I have made Bruiser Brody a king. Yes, a king. A king in the land of the blind, because there, the one-eyed man is king. Feast the jackals.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is definitely a... I want to take a look at the match right here. Here's the cage match. We have Grizzly Smith, who's down right now in the cage. I really don't know what to say about this. Lars Anderson is having his head bashed right into the ring there by Maniac Mark Lewin. There's Bruiser Brody up on the top. He's up on the top right there. He's trying to get back over here for just one moment to Scott, but I wanted to just bring this up. And Scott, I know that you wanted to talk with Bruiser Brody, so I'm going to hand that to you.
Thank you, Sonny. We're in the locker room with Bruiser Brody, who, as you've seen, has not done too good in this match. Bruiser, are you going to go...
Let me tell the Sheik something. And I want you to look at me close. Let me tell the Sheik something. I don't want to shout at the good Mrs. Maiva. I don't want to be yelling at her. She's friends with everybody here. But I'm telling the Sheik something. And Mrs. Maiva might as well listen close. You don't have to make no decisions for Bruiser Brody. You don't have to make no decisions for me. I've been stabbed before in the middle of that ring, and I've been beat with 2x4s. And one time when I was in Texas several years ago, the maniac Mark Lewin, He took a railroad spike, put me on a stretcher, and carried me off to a Dallas hospital. But I ain't never been burnt. Never been burnt. And I feel like a damn fool out here. I was out here earlier telling you that nobody would ever burn Bruiser Brody. Sheik, that's one for you. That's one for you. 1-0. 1 Sheik. Bruiser Brody 0. But that's okay. That's okay with me. I'm coming for you, Sheik. I'm coming for you. I've been burnt. I've been burnt, and I'm here to talk about it. The others aren't. I've been burnt, Sheik. But it ain't nothing. I mean nothing. Like what these 2 hands are going to do to you. You go ahead, burn me. Burn them all. But you're going to pay. You're going to pay, Sheik. You're going to pay. I've been burnt. You're going to pay.